A number of people around here, Honorable Minister. I mean, this is in giving expression to your commitment for stakeholder collaboration in this sector, and we will quickly run through the list. Dr. Beru Mago, Director of Benue State Polytechnic Ubokolo, is also here. Thank you. Please put your hands together, as well as Dr. Dahatu Seidu Awakar, who is the Acting Rector, Federal Polytechnic, Bauchi. We have Sule Yusuf, who is the Deputy Provost of Federal College of Education Technical, Gombe. Please put your hands together as we welcome our guests. We have Dr. Abbas Omar Farouk, the Rector of Gombe State Polytechnic, Bajoga. Yes, welcome, sir. We have Dr. Henry Diko, who is the Deputy Rector Administration, representing the Rector of Federal Polytechnic, Bida, in Niger State. Please put your hands together for the representative of the Rector of Federal Poly, Bida. We have Mr. Odio Abiobele, who is the Acting ICT Director, representing the Vice Chancellor, Federal University, Utoke, in Bayelsa. Welcome, sir. Welcome. I have already introduced Professor Muhammad because he came so early. We met here. We have Mr. Uyebanji Taye. Of course, we have also introduced him, and as well as the Vice Chancellor of University of Ibadan and the Chairman of Council for Achievers University, Owo. We have Engineer Dr. Francisca Nwafilugo from Federal Polytechnic, Oku. We also have Professor Bugaje, who is the Executive Secretary of National Board for Technical Education. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Prof. Good to have you around here. Good to have you with us. We still have a couple of people, just a few. Professor Christian Ikiobi, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Prof. Professor Abel Ezioha of Alex Ekweme Federal University, Ndufu. Welcome, sir. Welcome. And Professor L.S. Bilbis from Usumanu Danfodio University, Sokoto. Welcome, Prof. Welcome, sir. We have the Director, Special Duties at the Nigerian Communications Commission, Dr. Ikechukwu Adende, also in our midst. He's just seated in the midst of scholars, I mean, where he rightly belongs. I have my senior colleague, Mrs. Nina Okoha, who is the Head of Corporate Communications at NCC. I also have Uwa Suleiman, the Chief Press Secretary to the Honorable Minister. I have my colleague also here, Nafisa Usman Ruga, who is the Head of Digital Media Management. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests we have also in our midst are those who make it known when a tree falls in the forest. As we say in the media, when a tree falls in the forest.
Professor Sakalu, is it to the minister?
Yes. As we say in our profession, when a tree falls in the forest and the media aren't there to report it, it is a non-event. And the Honorable Minister has always taken the media as a very strategic ally. And so just at this other side, though the gallery is situated, I have pleaded with them that maybe we'll ask the Honorable Minister to help us elevate a point where we'll just designate as media gallery to put a strategic importance to their role. Gentlemen of the press, they are here seated. They have been very, very strategic partners to us. Please permit me to just say Professor Sahalo, who is also a special advisor to the minister, is also here. My apologies, please. Well, Prof, please. Welcome, Prof. Welcome.
There's a correction in the name.
Okay. A little correction. Professor Paulinus Chijioke Okwele is Executive Secretary, National Commission for Colleges of Education. Yes, I have introduced earlier. Welcome, Prof. Good to have you here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a press conference. It is a briefing of the media concerning something very strategic that the Honorable Minister has mobilized the sector to get the federal government to approve. And so, permit me to please invite first, yes, to this side of the hall, Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ibrahim Pantami, who will be addressing the press. I invite you, Honorable Minister, to please take your space. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. So, once the Honorable Minister takes his seat appropriately, we will have the Chairman of the Board of NCC as well as the Executive Commissioner Technical Services also join him here. We will add to that list as the Honorable Minister may direct. But at this point, permit me to please invite the Chairman of the Board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Adiolu Akonde, to please give a welcome address here. Please put your hands together for Professor Akonde.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this beautiful complex for the presentation of letters to beneficiary institutions under the provision of broadband connectivity to tertiary institutions in the country. I welcome the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, my boss and friend, Professor Ibrahim Ali Pantami, to the digital complex that houses his office. May I also seek the indulgence of the Minister to acknowledge the presence of the Vice Chancellor of my alma mater, University of Ibadan, Professor Kayode Aduboyade, and through him to extend my courtesies to all eminent scholars, Vice Chancellors, Rectors, and Provosts of my minister. I'm reserving the biggest for the last. Is the biggest masquerade that dances last. I acknowledge the presence of the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, our elder, as well as the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Colleges of Education. I welcome all of you to this event, which is the second phase for the presentation of letters to beneficiary institutions for the provision of broadband connectivity to tertiary institutions, airports, and markets in the country. It is a program conceived by the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy to drive the quest for the diversification of the Nigerian economy as envisioned by our leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. We had the first event of this kind a few months back. For the second phase, we have 49 institutions, 20 airports, and 6 markets benefiting. The Ministry of Communications have provided leadership for all the agencies under it, including the Nigerian Communications Commission, to develop a pool of Nigerians that can become active stakeholders in the digital economy, so that the world does not leave Nigeria behind in the new world economic order. My task is simply to welcome you, and I will leave other comments on this program to the Honorable Minister, who will be speaking shortly. Once again, I welcome you all to this event, and I wish you a successful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Akande, the Chairman of the Board of the Nigerian Communications Commission. Honorable Minister, sir, I think the Chairman of the Board of NCC deserves a round of applause for that, sir. Honorable Minister, sir, with your permission, we will take just goodwill messages from very few of our stakeholders present here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We also have in our midst, permit me, Honorable Minister, to introduce Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello, the Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University. Welcome, Prof. So good to have you here. He also has her colleague here, Dr. Oseni Afisi, also from LASU. We have Dr. Felix Atta from Akano Ibiam Federal Polytechnic, Unwana Afibu, also here. Thank you. We welcome you to this important event. We will take the first goodwill message from the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission. Please put your hands together for as he comes to give a goodwill message.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, our colleague, brother, and probably one of the greatest supporters of tertiary education in Nigeria, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Fantani, other distinguished guests, especially the chairman of NCC, I'm sorry. I always get confused because, as I told you, Chairman, I reported one of my friends, the Executive Secretary of NCCE. When he wants to appear more important, he removes the E somewhere. And he introduces himself as Executive Secretary NCC. Then we look at him. Then grudgingly, he will add E, NCCE. So, National Commission for Colleges of Education. MBTE, as well as my colleagues, vice chancellors of federal universities, state universities, and private universities. On behalf of the universities, those who benefited in the first tranche, and those who are benefiting here today, and many others who are happy that universities are recognized at all. This is the first time it has been happening in the history of this country. It's the first time. So whether a university has been selected or not, many of these universities are happy that their colleagues are being recognized, which means they themselves are waiting for their time. So on behalf of these universities, I once more express our profound gratitude to Professor Fantani for his well thought out intervention that will clearly, as the chairman of NCC has reiterated, will clearly strengthen Nigeria's transition to a true knowledge economy. Today's world today's world is being driven largely by the digital revolution. And anybody, any society, any country, any community that ignores the digital revolution certainly has passed a death sentence on itself. So we are happy that internet and other associated infrastructure are now being made available to universities free of charge and at an unlimited level. Honorable Minister, we are very grateful. We are particularly at the National Universities Commission that you have said without us asking, you say, look, we have always expressed our appreciation when universities are giving you. Now say, look, not only the university, even you, NUC head office, you should also have your own, plus NCCE, plus NBTE. So we are very, very, very happy. I think I would just say a very simple story that happened to us. Chris Mayaki, my deputy executive secretary, knows. One leading policy maker and leading intellectual and consultant from Israel visited me in my office, and I called the management and we were holding a meeting with him over a number of issues. Then he just suddenly expressed, he said, look, ES, I was shocked. You know, I went to a polytechnic, I was invited to a polytechnic, I don't know, Chris, you remember? Yes. I was invited to a polytechnic in Kogi. He said, where I delivered a lecture. And you know, to my shock, I wanted to use my, access to the internet. He said, do you know ES? That they don't have it. Yeah, just outside the classes, in the places under the tree, also, they don't have it. So the first thing is my heart beat seriously, because we didn't have it in NUC at that time. If he had tried, so my biggest thing was, how do we quickly conclude this before this man now asks for the password, or before he asks for the password in NUC. So I quickly tried, finished the meeting, and then we got it. We were praying and we were happy that he didn't try to access the internet from NUC. And from that he would say, look, this is it. For him, it's something shocking. It's something surprising. But for us, honestly, it's normal. That if when you get it, it is what is going to be shocking. It's surprising that you get internet access across. There are only few places you can enter VC's office or rector's office, perhaps in some areas of the library, perhaps here and there. For us to have this unlimited broadband, it is something unimaginable. We shall forever be very grateful to this minister who has decided to draw us into the mainstream of the knowledge society, because this is a defining character of today's knowledge society. It's not a question of the books, hard books, or the number of scholars you keep. The availability or lack of it, of the internet resources, defines what a true knowledge society is. So we thank you very much, and we shall continue to compare notes with our colleagues. We shall ensure maximum utilization of this, and we hope and believe that this intervention will, in a very, very big way, change the way we do things in our universities. And I'm sure our students, our scholars, our visitors, and everybody will greatly benefit from your generous intervention. We find it another interesting thing is that's when you talk of knowledge economy, we are trying to understand it. You see, many of us in the university system, we find it difficult to come to terms with some of these things. If universities, polytechnic colleges of education are put together, my brother from the airports, Captain Yadudu is here, I would have said, what's the relationship between universities and airports? But then airports, universities, markets. You see, the economy and the knowledge, the juxtaposition of knowledge and the economy. You see airports are the windows, national and international windows of the country. The markets where the activities really take place, everyday transactions take place, and people require this. And believe me, sir, and this is my last point, probably the Naira redesign or whatever, and all the crises we have gone through it, if it had been preceded by massive intervention, this kind of intervention you are doing, believe me, the society would have been able to absorb a lot of it, because the whole issue of this currency, what do you call it, the going virtual, the POS, because so many people suffer because the system doesn't work in many places. You don't go to the market and succeed in getting. But if this had come, if our markets, our airports, our institutions, and other places have been properly networked, connected, believe me, this is the foundation. This is the beginning of laying a cashless, this is what I was saying, cashless society, cashless economy. You cannot just do it by pronunciation, by just a pronouncement. You can only do it when some measures have been put in place. And believe me, this is the first foundation, the real actual foundation for laying in the future. If such interventions are sustained, probably in the next few years, we can wake up and say we are going cashless, and it will make sense. I thank you very much. Thank you again. Thank you, Professor Pantani. Thank you for all you have been doing to the universities. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, that's fine, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together once again for the Executive Secretary of NUC. Prof has put it in context. My senior colleague, Mrs. Suko, had just said to me that when you ask professors to come and speak, then you will know that you have actually invited a professor to speak. I have nothing to add to what Prof has said. He has put in context what has happened and how this can be located at the heart of the economy and the individual growth as well as businesses. While the ES of NUC was delivering his goodwill message, we had in our midst Professor Emmanuel Achuenu, who is the rector of Delta State Polytechnic, Ugwashugu. Yes, please welcome, Prof. Welcome, good to have you here. And of course, we also have here some of the people who work with our Honorable Minister. His Chief Policy Advisor has been seated here, Professor Aminu Ahmad. Dr. Femi Adeluyi is also here, Senior Technical Advisor to the Minister, and all other people who work with the Minister to make his work quite easy. Thank you so much for all the support. Honorable Minister, just 3 more and then we'll move quickly because we know that you have to come up. Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, is it here? Yeah. Please come up, Prof. for just a brief remarks. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A very brief one. Let me acknowledge the Honorable Minister of Digital Communication and Digital Economy. I think the only minister with the title of that digital, attached to his office. And we are now seeing it come true. Distinguished guests, executive secretaries, chairman of the NCC, and other distinguished chief executives of tertiary institutions, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. On behalf of the entire technical vocational and educational sector, we would like to express our deep appreciation for this important event today, whereby 24 of our federal and state polytechnics are going to be awarded this broadband connectivity. This is a major milestone. Following the advocacy of the Honorable Minister of Digital Economy over the years, MBT has decided to introduce digitalization of its accreditation. From July this year, accreditation will no longer be manual as it used to be in the past. We are going digital. And for these 24 polytechnics, they will have no excuse. They must comply. We can take excuse from the others. So it's a burden on these 24 polytechnic honorary ministers, sir, for them to sit up and ensure all the requirements for digitalization of accreditation are in place. No more risk of following the roads, no more expenses. They pay heavily for these accreditations. The cost is going to reduce very drastically. Of course, my staff in the MBT are not very happy because it means less traveling. But I've told them the world is going digital. The Honorable Minister of Digital Economy is advocating for this, and we must comply. So we really appreciate you, sir. Secondly, we are also begging for the remaining 65 federal and state polytechnics, Honorable Minister, sir. 24 is a large chunk. We appreciate it, but we cannot fail to also mention, these other 65. Besides that, we have about 89 private polytechnics, 150 IEIs, over 300 other technical and vocational institutions. Totally, we have about 690. So we hope gradually all these institutions shall be covered. We pray that God bless the Honorable Minister, and may God bless this very noble ministry. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Please, let's keep clapping for him until he gets to his seat. Thank you so much. I welcome into our midst, on behalf of the Honorable Minister, the Rector of Federal Polytechnic, Nikede, near Owerri, Dr. MC Arimonwa. Please put your hands together for him. He's also accompanied by Mr. Ndubisi Osoji. Please put your hands together for Mr. Osoji. We also have in our midst, and I welcome you on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Dr. A.A. Ahmed, the Rector of Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Please permit me, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, to invite Professor Paulinus Chijoke Ukweli, the Executive Secretary of National Commission for College Education, to give a very brief message. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, dear Prof. Patani, the Chairman of NCC, other distinguished guests, still stand on existing protocol. Very delighted to be part of this event. When I met the Honorable Minister for the first time, it was a convocation ceremony of one of our colleges. I saw the simplicity in him. That was the day the knot was put together, and since then, I requested to pay a courtesy visit to him. which he gladly accepted. So the management of NCC, National Commission for Colleges of Education, not NCC. Don't mind my senior brother. We really paid him a courtesy visit in this complex. He gladly received us, and he made promise to us. We made the cakes for the colleges of education. And to God be the glory, today we can see the fulfillment of that, his promise. Honorable Minister, we are very grateful to you. The colleges of education is the third tier of our tertiary institutions, and we produce middle level manpower teachers for basically for our basic education level. As I speak today, we have already launched a learning and teaching platform in all our colleges. Most of our colleges, we just did that for about 12 of our colleges. It's going to be a thing we will expand. And we know our major challenge has been broadband. So this is coming at a very right time to drive the vision of NCC. We are grateful to you, sir. And I would say, because today, almost everything is digitalized, there are so many methods of teaching which you can just stay at your comfort with this kind of applications to make learning and teaching and learning easy in our colleges and in our schools. This is the first time college of education are benefiting, and our number is very, very small, sir. Honorable Minister, we want to make an appeal. I think it's only 3 of our colleges that are benefiting. I can see for the technical talking about 40-something. And we have over 200 colleges of education in this country, 28 federal, almost 52 states, and many private. Please, I will use the opportunity, Honorable Mr. Sir, and Chairman of NCC, please, in the next tranche, consider most of our colleges. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much, Prof. I'm sure the Honorable Minister has taken very conscious note of that. Just yesterday, with the addition of the new State University in Kano, I know the ESNUC will agree. I understand that we have 222 universities. Yes, I read it yesterday. Thank you. So the Honorable Minister, I know that you are capable, and we pray for grace for you in this regard. And so finally, we will take, just before the Honorable Minister, we will take Captain Rabi Yadudu, the MD of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Please put your hands together for him.
Honorable Minister and the CEOs here assembled, I wish to say thank you very much for being here with us. Good morning. And I will start by, on behalf of our industry, the aviation industry, congratulating the Honorable Minister and his team for this very, very noble initiative. That is the provision of this broadband connectivity, in addition to all the other facilities, also the Nigerian airport. It is very important. I call it very noble also, because for one to get what he didn't solicit, what he didn't know is even existing, I think that takes a very noble partner in progress, a noble partner, a noble colleague, a noble patriot. And that is why we say it is very noble, and we appreciate it very much, Honorable Minister. I was traveling when I saw the news, and we decided it's part of our commitment. Right now, I have 2 important meetings with my Honorable Minister, and he agreed that the only way we can do it is there's no way we cannot honor those who honor us. And we thank you very much for this honor, sir. Additionally, there was an allusion here about the status of airports. It is true, airports are connecting points. But most importantly, the connectivity is just one that you see superficially. Airports are social and economic enablers for all of modern society. Very, very important social and economic enabler. Just imagine your society now without the airport, without aircraft. You will go from Kano to Lagos might take you 3 months. Going for Hajj might take you maybe 10 years because a lot of people farm on the road, get married. If they lose interest, they settle there. This is very important. And as a pilot, I used to fly anytime, it's a formula, 12 hours. When I depart Kano to Jeddah, usually if I leave by 9, I'll come back 9 in the night. If I leave by 3 a.m., I'll come back 3 p.m. 12 hours, you're already in Saudi Arabia and back instead of many years. That is a very big and magical, almost magical transformation for human society. And if we are not living it now, nobody will believe it is happening. And aviation is one of those very critical new innovations in collaboration with, of course, electronics and the television and the others. So it is very important. When people travel across Nigeria, they are traveling with their livelihoods, with their businesses. Any disruption is very expensive. And disruptions now mean not only about flight cancellations, even loss of contact now is even more critical than flight cancellations. So long as you have your phone, you have the connectivity, they can cancel as many flights as you want, take as much of the delay as you can take care of business online from your seat, either at the VIP lounge or inside the economy terminal. So I think it is very important for us to know this. My minister used to say, a mile of expressway connects only nothing, but 1 mile of runway connects everywhere. And that's why people fly a lot. And for you to fly, apart from being sure there's no disruption, we need to be sure it is very safe. If aviation is 99% safe, nobody will fly. Because a lot of people have flown over 100 times, which means you must have died by now. On the 100th one, there will be a crash. Practically, aviation is 100% safe business. 100% safe. The issues you hear about our industry are actually very, very extremely negligible. Every day, 100,000 flights operate across the world. 100,000 flights across the world every day, and you go for many months without an incident. That is practically 100%. So our industry is very safe, it is very reliable, it is very active and responsible and responsive, but we need more additions to assure the safety and the comfort. Our key priorities are safety for all stakeholders, especially passengers. Second, regulations, our laws. And third, comfort. And in that comfort comes their livelihoods. And that's why, as we are working very hard to ensure the safety and the security and the regulation, and in the last few years, Nigerian aviation has received tremendous amount of accreditation and commendation worldwide. But in the passenger comfort aspect, this is a very important addition, a critical addition, because it assures that when people come, they know they are safe in terms of the flight operations, and they are also safe, and their businesses are safe. So long as there's no news, nothing will happen. If there's anything happening about your business, you will get to hear about it very quickly and in time. And I will admit that in the last few years, since I became the MD of FAN, we have been having a lot of challenges with broadband providers across the airport, because people come with different capacities, different promises. And when you engage, you find that sometimes it's 20% of what is promised. But I think with this, coming from the Honorable Minister and the federal government of Nigeria itself, this is the real thing. And I say we thank you very much once more. We congratulate you, sir, because it's a very timely addition to our industry. On behalf of all our industry and the Honorable Minister, and of course, my humble self here, sir, we appreciate you, and we need much more of such initiatives. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Please put your hands together once again for Captain Yadudu. He's giving us some education when he was speaking about how long it takes him to go to Saudi Arabia and back. I just had a mental picture about my knowledge of history, how one of the leaders or one of the most astonishing empires in West Africa, Masak and Kamosa, how long it took him to go on pilgrimage with such a large entourage. And I'm wondering, it must have taken months in those days. So really, technology has really closed the gap between the past and the present. Thank you so much, Captain Yadudu. Honorable Minister, it is your turn, sir, to come up to tell us in the usual way that you have always done how we got to this point under your leadership. I invite all of us to please put our hands together for the Honorable Minister as he comes up into the stage.
Yes, if you so wish. It's okay, I think I can speak from here. Get seated, please. The chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission Board, our brother, Professor Adeyolu Akande, the executive secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, our elder brother and mentor too, the executive secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, also our elder brother, Professor Idris Bugaji, the executive secretary of, I hope the ES will allow me to say NCC. The executive secretary for National Commission for Colleges of Education, also my friend and brother, Professor Paulinus Chijioke, the managing director of FAN, Captain Yadudu, vice chancellors of university, rectors of polytechnics, provosts of colleges of education, also the pro-chancellor is here with us of Achievers University, my colleagues from the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, and also board members and the management staff of parastatals under the ministry, ladies and gentlemen of the press, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good afternoon to all of you, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. We converge here once again for the second and third phases of our broadband provision in public and private institutions. You may recall that we converged for the first phase at Transcorp Hilton on the Thursday, 24th of November 2022, where we distributed award letters for 18 higher institutions of learning, 17 universities, and 1 Federal College of Education, and also 20 markets for micro, small, and medium enterprises. On 31st of March 2023, less than a week ago, I received an update from the Nigerian Communications Commission with regards to the implementation of what we have done on the 24th of November 2022. Based on the report, generally one can safely say that the first phase has been implemented averagely 80%. Some institutions, the implementation level is up to 90, some 91, some of them you'll discover is 75, some 71 is within that range. So it is because of this that I feel it is the right time to commence phase 2 and phase 3. On the Wednesday, 29th of March 2023, I was at the Federal Executive Council where I presented 2 memoranda for this event we gather here. which cover, the two memos cover 49 higher institutions of learning, 20 airports, and 6 markets. So by implication, each memo represents a phase. So we are here for phase 2 and also phase 3. The total amount we have committed to this is approximately 41.6 billion naira. Historically, it is important to realize that this is not just direct government intervention, but it is a government intervention that we willingly sacrifice from our internally generated revenue. As we all know, in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, Section 21 clearly states that from the operating surplus with regards to your IGR, what you generate, you are to return 20%. Then Section 22 mentions that 80% of IGR is to be remitted to the consolidated revenue account for the Federation. We generated our revenue internally. EVC of NCC once met me that this is what has been generated and we want to spend the money internally because we have certain challenges within our sector that money should be dedicated to. And I arranged another meeting where I invited the board chairman of NCC, Professor Adeyolo Akande, and the executive vice chairman, Professor Umar Dangat, but both of them were in my office. I say, instead of spending this 41.6 billion naira within our sector, it is better to sacrifice the whole money to other sectors, particularly education, commerce, and others. I presented my argument to both of them and I defended it the way we defend our thesis during Viva. I was able to convince chairman and EVC. Both of them agreed with me that this money, instead of spending within our sector, let us take it outside the sector and support education, commerce, and other activities within the country, because what we can generate, other sectors cannot be able to do that. So with that meeting, all of them agreed that this 41.6 billion should be spent through intervention in education to support small and micro businesses, and also to support our airports and other institutions. And I wrote a memo to His Excellency, Mr. President, our Principal President, Muhammadu Buhari. He approved it and also directed me to present a council memo. We presented a council memo for the second, third, for the first, second, and third. All of them have been approved, and that is why we are here. So the money is not from federal government allocation, but the whole money is from our internally generated revenue that we have decided to spend to other institutions and support them without retaining one kobo from that amount. And I believe this background is important. Furthermore, the total number of institutions to benefit from first one, second, third, as I earlier mentioned, in the first one on 24th November 2022, we have 19 universities and 1 Federal College of Education. My friend, so since then we have provided for 1 Federal College of Education, and I believe you need to update your record. And secondly, we provided for 20 markets in the first one. In the second and the third phases here, we have provision for 20 airports, 6 additional markets, and how many higher institutions of learning? Sorry? 49. Thank you. It's 49. 49 higher institutions of learning. At that time, I was challenged politely and wisely by the ES of MBTE, Professor Idris Bogaje, that polytechnics were left out, even though he did so politely. But I took it as a challenge. And I'm glad to say they are the major beneficiaries of this phase. And another challenge came up today from the ES of NCCE. And we do hope that in the next phase, we will prioritize colleges of education. And I believe that after that, our elder brother ESNUC will also come back and challenge us more and more. There is no doubt our engagement with ESNUC provided the platform for us to realize and prioritize our intervention in universities and other higher institutions of learning. Because whenever I engage with him since 2018, he always mentions the challenge with regards to ICT facilities and internet connectivity in our higher institutions of learning, not only university, all of them. So he spoke on your behalf. And secondly, the initiatives of ESMBTE is also really encouraging, because he came up with the idea since he was appointed on how to digitalize many activities. As he mentioned on the 24th of November 2022, it was his plan when he was director of Kaduna Polytechnic, but the quotation couldn't allow him to implement because no sufficient funding for that. And I'm glad to say, without consulting any one of them, ESNCCE was also in my office to speak on behalf of all the federal colleges of education here. I'm glad to say that today we are providing for many higher institutions of learning, and I do hope that we have a policy in place where we will continue to prioritize intervention in other sectors over and above within our sector. The more you grow higher, it is no more about yourself. It is how you touch other people's lives positively. And that is the beauty of life. So it is no more about ourselves, but how we touch other people's lives and other institutions and other sectors positively is what is important to us. So all in all, we can safely say that from this number, we have 113 interventions. 19 universities in the first one, 1 college of education, 20 markets, 49 additional higher institutions of learning, also 6 additional markets and 20 airports. You can safely say we have 113 interventions so far from the 41.6 billion naira to be spent as part of our donation to other sectors from our internally generated revenue through the telecommunications subsector. Furthermore, when it comes to the market, as I earlier mentioned, I happen to be the champion of Massachusetts Institute of Technology. What they have been promoting is IDE, Innovation-Driven Enterprises, a situation where we increase the the visibility of our markets. Instead of allowing our markets, our entrepreneurs to operate locally, let us give them global visibility. And this is what we are trying to achieve. At the National Information Technology Development Agency, we have been donating domain names for free for our entrepreneurs all over the country, sometimes supporting them also to create their website and conduct their businesses, not only physically but virtually. By doing that virtually, it will give them global visibility. And this is what MIT has been doing. In 2015 and 16, there was a research entitled as a MIT Nation. In that research, it was clearly stated that if MIT were to be a country, it will be the 10th largest economy globally. As an institution of learning, the serial entrepreneurs of MIT, their collective gross domestic product is averagely, at that time, 2 trillion USD. 2 trillion USD, and it is just a university. And they achieve that through innovation-driven enterprises. There are 2 prerequisites to digital economy. One is innovation and 2, entrepreneurship. These are the 2 prerequisites towards building an indigenous digital economy. And this is exactly what they have been doing. So we have conceptualized the idea. We have been working in order to give more visibility to our entrepreneurs in Nigeria. When it comes to the airport, I think I need not to say anything. I'm among the major beneficiaries of leveraging internet all over the world. When you come to Nigeria, the situation is worrisome. In some airports, we could have internet provision, but not sufficient. There is need for us to provide more intervention in order to make passengers coming to Nigeria or going out very comfortable. There are so many economic and social benefits from doing that. An MD of FAN spoke on that extensively. I need not to repeat it anymore. So it is because of this we have prioritized these institutions, and we are glad that with all the sacrifices we have been making, the sector is achieving many unprecedented achievements and records. Within last 3 years, we have set up 3 new records of our contribution to GDP, all of them unprecedented. In the first quarter of 2020, ICT sector alone, standalone sector, contributed 14.07% to our GDP. It was a record in Nigeria. In the second quarter of 2021, contributed 17.92% to our GDP. Another new record. Only last year, second quarter of 2022, we contributed 18.44% to our GDP. Another new record. Just end of last year on 17 and 18, Mr. President directed Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office in the United Kingdom and KPMG in partnership with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to present an independent assessment of each and every ministry and its parastatal and the sector of the economy of our country. We were given 8 priority areas. To increase by 70%. Priority number 1, broadband penetration. We got 134% instead of delivering by 70% as A. Number 2, 4G penetration in Nigeria. We obtained 127% based on the independent assessment. Number 3, also to develop policies for the digitalization of function and processes in government. Under that one, we obtained 99%. Number 4, also to support digital ID in Nigeria, we got 86%. Number 5, to enhance revenue generation for government is number 5. We got 594%. An increase in revenue generation quarterly from 51 billion naira to over 408 billion naira quarterly. Number 6, to develop digital economy policy and strategy and implement. Under that one, we got 103%. Number 7, partnership with the private sector for job creation. We got 111%. And number 8, the final one, is also citizens empowerment. We obtained 137%. This is our scorecard and our final report of that independent assessment by international bodies in partnership with OSGF. And I will be glad to say it is the best in the country with all sense of humility and responsibility. Firstly, the credit is not mine, nor yours. The credit is for our Principal President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, who has appointed us and give us the opportunity to represent him in the sector. After recognizing him, you may wish to claim the credit as stakeholders, either from government or academia or private sector. But number one person is our Principal President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR. We appreciate him for the opportunity to serve our country, and we do hope that these achievements will also be consolidated by all the parastatals, and is indeed very important. Once again, thank you very much for honoring our invitation to be here and also to be part of this event. And I do hope that the beneficiary institutions will try to maintain and sustain the intervention. It's very important. At the ministerial level, we have developed our sustainability model. However, that will not be sufficient until you develop your in-house sustainability model. Not only in broadband penetration, we have ongoing projects. Even outside this 41.6 billion, we have ongoing projects. We are building a digital economy park in University of Ibadan. Recently, we have approved another one even in Danfodio University here. The Vice Chancellor is here also with us. And we still have another one that has been approved only last week at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Imo State, my university. Please, my university. And I believe you will not say I'm sentimental. It is my university. There is no doubt about this. So because of this, Federal University of Technology, Owerri is among the major beneficiaries. Most probably that project, each university could benefit with around 1.2 billion naira, each higher institution. So now we are just starting. And this is outside the 41.6 billion we have earlier dedicated as part of our intervention. This is another one outside that one. Whatever comes, we don't spend it within. We take it outside for others to benefit. We drive more pleasure in making others happy than in taking care of ourselves. Once again, thank you very much for being here. May the Almighty bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Okay, they're here. I think here it's okay. Here it's okay.
Thank you. Please, let's keep clapping for the Federal Minister. Please be seated. Yes, please. The Honorable Minister will now proceed to present the certificates to the deserving institutions. So once your institution is called, you just come up here and then receive from the Honorable Minister. Where are we? Okay, Monday.